Oh my god, it's finally happening, everyone. Juri buffs are coming soon for Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. Now, these new balance changes were revealed in a recent leak, which means there could be more changes when the update finally happens, but for now, this is what we know. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through all of these changes step by step and try to show examples on screen as best I can. Now, I'm also going to post these balance changes in the video description, so feel free to check down there as well if you're not quite sure about the changes. Now, first up, standing medium kick now has an increased window for canceling into a special move. That's a very big deal for me. Now, when I first read this, I got extra excited and thought it might mean you can cancel her second hit of standing medium kick. Now, unfortunately, I don't think that's what it means. It just means the first hit of standing medium kick now has a bigger cancel window, which means it will now be much easier to cancel into a special move, which is good because it means Juri now has an easier time with her medium links. She can now do standing medium punch into standing medium kick into special move a lot easier. It's not going to be nearly as stressful online, which is great because for me personally, I would never even go for this string online. I wouldn't even do standing medium punch into standing medium kick because I didn't trust it. Instead, I would go for more easy links. So it's nice to have this change. It's a very good quality of life kind of change. Next up, we have a very big buff. Juri's standing medium punch, heavy punch target combo now hits opponents even if they're crouching. That's a very big deal. Once again, I hardly ever used this move because I was afraid the opponent could be crouching. So basically the only time you used this move was during a V-trigger combo where you already had the hit confirm, or if the opponent was dizzy. Outside of those two situations, I never used this string, which is a big shame because it has some really cool stuff you can do after it, especially in the corner if you have V-trigger. In fact, let me show a few examples of what this move can do on screen. Now, unfortunately, everything on this list is not a buff. Juri actually does have one nerf so far on this list, and that nerf is her V-skill now gains less V-gauge. That's a bit of a shame, but at the same time, Juri's V-skill, to me, is very good. Not by default, but if you charge it, it becomes a very good move. It can whiff punish anything from full screen, it can punish fireballs from pretty much anywhere on screen, and even just the regular version can trip up some players. Some players still don't get that it only can cross up, and then if you do it in front of them, it just won't hit. Some players, if you do it like ambiguously, they can't tell where it's going to end up and they'll block the wrong way. So for me personally, this nerf is not that big of a deal, but seeing as how Juri is so low on the tier list, I don't see why Capcom felt the need to add this change. At any rate, that's the only nerf she has, so let's count our blessings and move on. The next buff is that Light Fuha is now more active. This will make it more of a meaty attack, which is good. There were a couple of reset situations where the opponent would flip out, and they would actually land into Light Fuha, and now it's going to be a lot easier to do that. Or at the very least, you can force it to be meaty on the opponent's wake up, which is good because it is safe, and if done meaty, it has better frame advantage than that. So it's good to see this change. It's actually a pretty good change. We also have a few damage buffs happening, which is awesome. So medium Fuha now does 10 more damage, and it's increased to 20 more damage if you're in V-trigger, which is awesome. On that same note, heavy Fuha now does 20 more damage, although it doesn't seem to get a buff if you're in V-trigger, which is a bit odd. These are still good though, because one of the biggest complaints a lot of Juri players had is her damage wasn't high enough to warrant her health being lower. So a lot of us, myself included, were saying either buff her health or buff her damage. Either one's okay, and it seems they're going with damage this time around. Damage is now better. Next up, we have a very good change for Juri's defense. Her EXDP is now fully invincible until frame 12. That's very, very good. No longer will you have to worry if it whiffs or not, or if the opponent can hit you out of it. It's fully invincible until frame 12, which is great. It's meant to be a reversal, it's meant to be a decent anti-air, and now it fulfills both of those roles, which is fantastic. It's no longer a wishy-washy reversal. The opponent now has to respect you if you have meter. And last but not least, we had a change that a lot of people thought was coming. Juri's V-Trigger 1 now costs 2 bars instead of 3, and it also lasts for a longer time as well if you're not doing any attacks. Now the downside is the moves consume more gauge. Now it's a bit vague here. I'm not sure if it means just the special moves like the Fuha charges, or if it means the chaining of normals also drains it faster. Unfortunately, it likely means both, but still we're going to get it more often during the match because it's now 2 bars instead of 3, which is good. And while I don't prefer that the moves drain more gauge, I'm still glad that it's 2 bars. That's still a fair trade in my opinion. Alright everybody, and there you have it. That is it for the changes to Juri in Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. And like I said earlier, there could be more when the update actually happens, but so far this is the information that has been leaked to us. And honestly, any buffs that Juri gets is a very welcome change to me. I'm not sure if these buffs are enough for me to make her my main again, but I'm still very glad to see Juri going in the right direction. I'm really glad to see Capcom giving Juri some more love, because I think she really needs it, especially since she's a fan favorite. A lot of fans like her and just won't play her because she's not that decent. And thanks to these buffs, I believe that's all about to change. I think a lot more people are going to pick up Juri again, which is fantastic. I want to see more Juris online. I want to see more Juris at tournaments. I'm very happy to see these buffs. Alright, thanks for watching everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like down below. And while you're down there, go ahead and post a comment too. How do you feel about these changes? Is Juri going to be your main again? If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and hit the bell. That will notify you when I make a new video. And you don't want to miss them because they're always fun. If anyone's interested, I also sell t-shirts. Every purchase goes towards helping this channel and you look good while doing it. If you want to help out more directly, then of course there's always Patreon. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs!